Greetings, explorers. In this video I want to talk a little bit about the asylums and how insane that narrative really is. And if you're familiar with the old world research and the narrative that goes along with that, um, we look a lot at the architecture and infrastructure from most of the time the 1800s, and we have really put to question the timelines for the builds on many of these structures. This one in Athens, Ohio. You can see how massive this one is. Now the narrative tells us that this one was built from 1868 to 1874, and many of these will have that very same timeline, right around that same 1870s timeline. And it all does read a lot like a story built in the Kirkbride fashion, named after Thomas Story Kirkbride. That would be this gentleman here. You can see dies in 1883. Supposedly this design was his creation. The primary founder of the Association of Medical Superintendents of American Institutions for the Insane. Well, I don't know about you, but I suspect we're looking at a story for the insane. And who do I mean by insane? Well, really the insane are us. What I hypothesize was going on at this time was that these old world buildings, and I don't know their original use, I don't think they were built to house the insane. I think that these were a part of the old world infrastructure, and they were modified and used to house people who weren't going along with the new narrative, the founder's narrative. And you can see some of the architecture really is, this is in Australia, really is quite spectacular and screams old world at us. And of course the narrative is always the same. These buildings had to be built because the amount of insane people just kept growing in that time period. And you have to ask the question, why? Why are there so many insane people? And what is the structure of society in the 1800s so benevolent that they're willing to put this much energy into reforming people who they deem as unfit for society? Or is it possible that there is a more sinister agenda at play here? And I use that word sinister because the whole topic of asylums in our modern day is intricately linked with horror, with hauntings and horror and all of those things. It's not a nice part of the our history. In fact, so much that it's not something that a lot of people even like to think about. But I think it is important for us to ponder on these things and reflect on our past, the way that we have been treated. We as the people, we the people, have been treated by these institutions through these institutions. We need to, I think, accept what has happened and deal with it. Because really, when you render it down, we are looking at institutionalized torture and extermination, and that would be anyone who isn't fitting the mold for society, isn't able to accept the societal norms and make a life for themselves under that banner. And so they get cast aside and often experimented on, and all of the rest of it. And I think you'd be hard pressed to argue that fact. You know, if you're involved with the psychiatric profession in the modern day, I think you really need to take a long, hard look at the history of your profession and understand what you're a part of. You know, and all of us who aren't involved with that profession, I'm sure we know somebody who's been affected by it. It's interesting, you get the timeline for these asylums. They seem to grow and grow and grow, and post World War II, they're brimming, or they're overfilled to the brim with patients. I was going to say inmates, but there isn't really a huge difference. And then as the 70s and 80s and 90s proceed, pharmaceuticals seem to take over and become it's like they sedated society and they don't need to house people that aren't fitting in with the norms. And that seems to be where we're at today. And how far have we come here in 2023, almost 24 now? Where are we at with that? We're in such a deep state of censorship, for one. So the control of information is attempting to keep a lid on societal norms. I think we're really witnessing a panic mode for this institutional thought form, let's say. And as we all witness the collapse of this thought form, we can choose to participate and speed along that collapse. And I believe that's what I've attempted to do here with this channel. I'm just going to read to you a couple of the reasons for admission, potential reasons for admission. Now this comes from West Virginia Hospital for the Insane. Now this list coming from 1864 to 1889, we're told. So first, and the best I think on this, well, maybe not the best, but novel reading was a reason you could be institutionalized at that early time period. Politics or political excitement, another reason, and kind of similar to what we're seeing today, to be honest with you. Interesting. An immoral life. Now, based on whose standards of morality would be a good question to ask. Time of life, a reason for being institutionalized in the 1800s. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Does that mean if you haven't accomplished the things expected of you at that time of life, then there's something wrong with you? It's possible. Bad company. Well, don't keep bad company, or you may end up in one of these. We have hard study. Not exactly sure what that means, but overaction of the mind is probably linked with that. Overtaxing mental powers, overstudy of religion. Jealousy and religion seem to be tied together for some reason. Egotism, well, I think many of us I think that's more praised in our time. Egotism, really. I don't know if that would get you locked away in the modern day. Domestic trouble. And we have also desertion by husband. So if your husband walks out on you, ladies, then you're likely to be sent to one of these institutions in the 1800s. Asthma, a reason for being institutionalized? Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Hereditary predisposition. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? Laziness would get you locked up back then. Fever and loss of a lawsuit. So if you lose a lawsuit, that's a reason for you to be institutionalized, I suppose. Now this asylum narrative is closely linked, I think, with the penitentiary narrative, especially in the States, which I have read is the most populous incarcerated population in the world. Again, you have to ask the question, why? Is it because the people most likely to commit crimes, or is there something else going on with the structure of society? And I think as we've come down through time to this modern day, and we've had those societal norms cemented really in our reality, you have to play ball, you have to go with what the system expects of you, and then success in some form will be yours. Typically, material success is usually what comes of playing along with this system. And really, is that any success at all? I don't think so, but you be you. You choose what you want to do. What I think is very interesting, and I'll end it on this, is what we've witnessed really in the early years of the 2020s with the actions of these institutions and the people caught within that thought form, we have witnessed the true insanity, and we have witnessed the overturning of this, what we deem to be sane in society. So those of us who question the narrative, who question all these professional, let's say, categories. We're questioning the narrative here. We're questioning geology. We're questioning history and archaeology. What we're finding to be the case is what we thought was normal and sane has been exposed for what it truly is, an insane narrative. And the people running or steering that ship are the most insane of all of them. So that should encourage you to question the narrative, folks, to not put any of your faith or trust in what you're being told, but to seek the truth and how it resonates with you. And it does resonate. It is a vibration. We are entering the truth and the love vibrations. So go with the flow, enjoy your journey, and seek others who are also seeking. Thanks for watching.